Developing a greater self-awareness is one of the foundations of leadership. Consider this. Have you ever worked in an environment where everyone is treating everyone really badly? There is gossip, there is sabotage, there is intimidation, there is manipulation, domination, and even intimidation. The Chartered Management Institute did a survey where they found that 71% of the reason why people leave an organisation is because of how their line manager made them feel. If 10 people leave your organisation, it is probable that 7 of those left because of their line manager and how they were treated. Yet you look at that in another way. You work in an environment where there is collaboration, where there is communication, where there is sharing of information and ideas, where there is creative excitement, where there is high trust, and people work with one another in a way where the focus and aim is clear and everyone uses their talent to help reach that aim. Now, this is why it is so important to develop a greater self-awareness as a leader, because staying connected with people is the key trait of credible and authentic leaders. Daniel Goleman, in his work on emotional intelligence, speaks about how you develop that awareness, and he spoke about 4 domains. Here are the 4 domains. Number 1, self-awareness. Know your emotions and know the emotions that you do in certain environments. Are there times where you become a lot more tense or a bit more annoyed when you're talking within a team meeting or with your colleagues? Are there certain behaviours that triggers off sadness or frustration? Daniel Goleman says that having that self-awareness is the first key to developing greater self-awareness. What I often do and tell leaders to do is keep a journal and reflect on that journal and find those trigger points where you know that you are using frustration or showing an emotion which is maybe anger or which is annoyance, and make a note of those. And a journal will really begin to be a great tool that you can use for that first understanding of self-awareness. The second domain that Daniel Goleman talks about is self-management. Only when you are aware of those triggers and aware of those emotions can you begin to manage them. Now, for this, what you need to do is begin to recognize the times when you do feel those emotions rising up. And only then, between the impulse of you wanting to be frustrated and the action of you actually demonstrating it, can you begin to choose to action out another response. It is what Stephen Covey often talks about, that we are responsible for our own actions. Responsible, able to choose our response. So the first 2 domains are self-awareness and self-management. Then and only then do you go on to the next 2 domains, empathy. Empathy is that ability to walk in another person's shoes, as the great author Harper Lee said in her book, To Kill a Mockingbird. Being able to empathize with people keeps people engaged and makes them feel valued. And when you are showing that level of empathy, you are also building on your own self-worth and self-confidence because you are valuing yourself. The final thing is social skills. Developing your social skills, your listening skills, questioning skills, your body language are all attributes of developing greater self-awareness. So in summary, there are 4 things that you can do to develop a deeper self-awareness of yourself. Here they are. Number 1, according to Daniel Goleman, self-awareness of your emotions and triggers. Number 2, self-management of those emotions. Number 3, empathy. And number 4, being able to develop greater social skills in interactions with one another.